Yo,
welcome back to another week, another segment.
Come on.
Express yourself.
Express
It's your
yourself.
boy G Butters.
Yo, it's Waves, man. Come on. Always
Yes,
Waves.
sir.
Let's do it.
We back for another week, another segment.
Yeah.
Shit, last week we talked about. Shit, it was a good topic, bro. What we talk about?
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay. Boundaries and clarity.
Clarity.
Clarification.
Yeah, how you,
You know what I'm
clarify
saying?
boundaries.
If you haven't checked that out, yeah, go
check it out. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And this
Clarity
week,
and bound- yeah.
we got a hell of a segment. This week, for this segment, I'm about to tell you, cause you could go either way about it.
Okay.
So, cause he asked a poll of it, and I asked a question of it. So that's what I'm saying.
I know. I try to make my question a little bit different than yours.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
that's
tried
what I'm
to
saying.
just
You
give
could
another
go. You
perspective.
could go about it. So I mean, you could give your first take on trauma.
Okay.
There's trauma of how he was saying that his question was. How was your question?
Mine was like, does trauma hurt you or help you?
Help you or?
Does trauma hurt you or help you? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I was looking at it.
So I mean, you could answer that, or
And how was yours?
Mine was why do people carry past trauma into new relationships?
So you made it more narrowed into relationship. That's why I brought it up, because you put it into relationship.
Yeah, well, the reason I didn't specify like a relationship, like because relationship.
You didn't say what type of relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Because I got feedback on
Okay.
both.
Okay.
Of either
So some
or.
people did take it as just like relationships with
Yeah.
friendships too.
Yeah, because or
Okay.
family.
My first thought went to
Like
partner.
relationship,
Yeah, your girlfriend, boyfriend,
Yeah.
whatever, your partner.
Nah, some people even took it to like
That's cool.
friendships
Yeah,
or like
that's
family
cool. They took
members.
it like that.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So your first take on however you want to go, just your first take on trauma. What you think of when you hear trauma?
Trauma, I think, I spoke about it. So I'm a speaker in schools and stuff. So I've spoke about this topic a lot. I think naturally I look at trauma as, I say trauma haunts you.
Mm-hmm.
Trauma haunts you. That's my way of saying it. I've always rhymed it like that. Trauma haunts you. So I look at trauma like these are past events that stuck with you. What makes them traumatic, you don't even know that they're traumatic at the moment all the time, but the way you find out that they were traumatic was when a event or a situation, scenario occurs in your present tense. Like right now, if something happened, I would get a feeling that would almost make me reminisce / flash back to the time of when the trauma happened, you know. And I think trauma, I look at trauma more of it has polar, so there's negative and positives to it, right? I look at it like that. But I think initially I look at it like it itself is a negative realm, like it's a negative connotation. The negative things, or the things that had a negative impact on me in the past, that again, that still carry with me. So let's say, for instance, think of a trauma that I had. So one, and some are, I think there's severities to them too. I think some are more severe than others. You know, I've met people that have some very severe traumas.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I won't say that this is in that category. So this is a less severe one, but was like one like me. I'm trying to think how to say it. Like my brother would. So I had a mentor in my life, and he would lecture me all the time, and he would say things that affected me, you know what I'm saying? And it bothered me and affected me so much that I started like coming up with ways to like get past the moment. And the way I would do it was by going completely silent. That was my response to that. So like my response was like go silent. So I would carry this same traumatic, like if I ever felt, so fast forward, if I would get the feeling of being lectured at or talked to a certain way, I would do the silent treatment.
Like shutdown type.
It's like a shutdown.
Right.
I don't do it no more. But I've noticed they did carry with me for a while. You know, so I'm like, damn. And it was like, so it's crazy. When I would get in the shutdown or silent treatment, bro, it's hard to get out of it. You know, I made myself stay in that back then. You know what I mean? Like, I made sure because, and the reason was because it felt like if I would say something, my mentor would just like, it would almost make it seem like I'm saying something against him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like I'm talking back. It would like manipulate anything I would say. So my response was like, just don't say shit.
Right.
And I got so great at not saying shit. He'd be like, do you hear me? Like, and I just start doing like nonverbal communication, like, cause I didn't want to deal with, cause then that turns into another lecture. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I didn't want to deal with that shit. So that's one for me for sure that sticks out. And I remember, man, like just turned into the silent treatment, and then you know what I'm saying, that trauma. But again, once I became aware of it, that I respond to that situation like that, then boom, I don't do it no more. Let me think of another one real quick that's maybe more severe. I know a lot of people associate, you know, maybe rapes. You know, certain words are trauma to people because of what's been happened when they were called that, or they maybe seen something happen when that was, you know, used.
Right.
So, but I think in the gist, let me just say real quick, because I think you asked me what I thought of trauma, and I'm just going kind of rambling. But in the gist of it, I think I look at trauma like, again, it's the past. It's something that had happened that stuck with you. You know, it affected you, so it really was tied to an emotion. I think a lot of times with trauma, it's tied to an emotion. You know, of whatever, pain, hurt, you know, sadness, madness, you know what I'm saying? You had an emotion tied to it. Because that's fast. I'm trying to see if I want to say it right now or if I want to say it later. But because it's a counter to my traumas. But I think I'll say that for later. But yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
I don't know if that was clear or not.
Nah, yeah, I understood. Yeah. I mean, there's different kinds, like how you were saying, like there's different kinds of trauma, like how you were saying, there's verbal, there's all that. There's even some where it could be abusive, like females that get hit, or vice versa, females that hit men or stuff. You could just
great one.
Yeah, you could just tell, like the other day too, like a lot of people might not show and shit. Exactly, I was about to say that.
That's a good one. Like, I just thought about that as soon as you said it. I was like,
if someone like raises their hand and you see someone flinch, boom, that's trauma right there. It's like what you wonder like what they've been through to make them to be on the defense like that. You know what I'm saying? Because a reaction, even like me, like I'm not gonna say like my parents never hit me or anything. Like obviously in the Hispanic culture, that's just something that's normal. Like with Hispanics, like just to hit. But like someone like I love my parents and stuff, but like I knew it was more of a discipline.
Okay.
But in a relationship, I've never gotten hit. So where like if I see a dude like put his hands up, I'm not gonna flinch. So I've never gotten hit. I've never gotten rocked like that. Where it's just like I'm traumatized. So like to me, people could be like, oh no, it's just a reaction. It's just an instinct. Like even if you're on self-defense, like if I were to like do this, you're not gonna jump. Like unless you have a like traumatic experience. You know what I'm saying? So that could be one, just abuse. Like how you were saying verbal, it could be a simple word could trigger something.
Bro, exactly. I just think about so many different simple words, like, and it can go back to like our boundaries we were just talking about, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's why boundaries are kind of important because, bro, certain words, if you don't tell somebody what word can trigger you, right? Because triggers come from trauma, right?
Yeah.
Do you think so? Triggers come from trauma. Like.
Yeah,
otherwise, what are you triggered from? What
like,
triggered you? It triggered you.
That means
why?
there had to been something.
It was something that happened. Like I said, in the past. Like I said, I look at trauma like it's the past, bro.
Yeah.
It's something that happened in the past that is haunting you. But like I said, it can be associated with a word, an action. Like you said, action. You know, a place. I think an environment alone can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you felt like maybe it ain't the same house or maybe it ain't the same street or even city, but if it gave you that same feel.
Yeah.
It could trigger something, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or if a guy gave you the same feel as a guy that did something, or he looked like, that's another one. I've seen that before, like, just you look like somebody that did something to somebody. Or that, like, let's say if it happened to me, somebody hurt me in the past. But like you said, like maybe like, man, like let's just say I witnessed somebody shoot somebody,
Right.
right? His face would stick with me if I seen him, and who knows what he did. And then, and like he shot somebody and pointed a gun at me. But then said, and then didn't shoot, obviously, because I'm still alive. So then he didn't shoot for some reason. He ran off or whatever. Boom, his face stuck with me. So if I like was out in public and I seen somebody, it might shock. Yeah, he looked like him. It might fuck with me.
Right.
Right. I could be happy. So I'm like, whoa. You know, I've had a situation like that. Like, another story. My mom, before we left to Gary, right? Remember I told you like we left because my mom was it was domestic.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was getting abused and whatever, and the dude was threatening to kill her, right? So just a little bit of that. I ain't gonna go in too deep, but so the guy that did it, fast forward, we moved to Gary for 6 years, then I come back, bro, go to New Haven, you know what I'm saying? I'm my freshman year, so that happened when I'm like 10 years old, right? 10 years old. This happened when I'm like 9 or 10 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward all the way to like, bro, I'm at a fucking job temp agency. So now I've already graduated high school. I'm a couple years out of high school. I'm probably like 2021, easily, right? And I see this guy. I see him. Now I've witnessed him put his hands on my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I can't forget it.
Right.
Again, they're almost like they're unforgettable. So the trauma is like, it's unforgettable. You know, and so I see him, so boom, right away it flashes me back to that time. And like I wanted to put my hands on him, but I already changed my ways. But like I was so heated, I had to leave the building of the temp agency.
Yeah.
Cause it was so like it was uncontrollable. I was like, oh my god, like he's here, he's still, you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't seen this dude since then, bro. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him since, that's over 10 years.
Yeah.
But look how that happened.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say too. Like before you kept going, I was gonna say, I feel like trauma comes and could turn into a grudge, cause it's like you hold that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like,
I see that.
Yeah, cause it's just like how you were saying, like in a way, it's just like you held that with you, and it's just like how you said you learned, you grew, cause like the Manny from 10 years old to the Manny when you see him again, there's 10 years difference, bro. You matured, difference. You know what I'm saying? Your mindset at 10 years old from 20 is completely, your mindset from 20 to what you are now is different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times too, like I was gonna say, a lot of trauma that people have could just be a grudge. I meant that because like how some people were saying it on my Instagram post, where it could be a family thing, where just because a family incident happened or something went south in the family function or something, you hold that grudge and you don't want to talk to that person no more. Just because whatever happened, the situation might have been or what was said traumatized you, it had an effect on you, you felt away. Now you hold that grudge and it's like, y'all don't talk. Y'all not on speaking terms.
Yeah.
Y'all cut each other off. You know what I'm saying? Off of one thing that maybe traumatized you and you held that grudge, and it's just like 9 out of 10 times by sometimes doing stuff like that with like the people that y'all loved each other like family and stuff like that. 9 out of 10 times it's like y'all will end up regretting that time that passed that y'all never spoke or squashed the beef or squashed the traumatic event that happened. Cause then I've seen it happen in my family too, where certain shit happens and y'all don't talk, and then boom, all it took was someone to pass away for y'all to see each other and then open y'all eyes. Why wait until someone passed away or something for some shit to happen? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, trauma could turned into a grudge. You know what I'm saying? By something that happened, or it depends how you take it. Like, if like
I can see it.
If you get bullied too, you know what I'm saying? Like someone bullies you, and let's say they used to be like, "Oh, you're fat," or "Oh, your hair is nappy," or some shit. You go to school, and then you go to school hating that person. Like you start getting that grudge, and then someone that says it reminds you of that person, and you held that grudge. You know what I'm saying? Because it traumatized you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I could fast forward on that one too. I could even have a personal story with that one. Like a guy that put his hands on me, jumped me back when I first moved to Gary. Was partial of that, and like they used to bully me. They used to chase me home every day when I first moved to Gary, bro. It was like we used to chase me home every single fucking day after school. And that shit used to be annoying, bro. I'd be like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I was like, welcome to Gary. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy, bro. So, you know, I don't know, I don't remember how long that shit even lasted, but they used to walk up and down my block, bro, telling me to come outside and shit. Like I said, I was scared, bro. I was young. I wasn't used to that, bro. It wasn't like that when I was living in Fort Wayne, bro. It was just a completely different environment. And fast forward. By the way, we never got cool, but it got cordial.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
We never became friends or nothing.
Right.
It ended up being like we've been able to exist around each other.
Coexist.
And we wouldn't see each other often, but if we see each other, it was just nothing. But something I grudged that I couldn't help that feeling. Like, these niggas used to chase me every day, bro. They were trying to beat my ass. And they did jump me one day. You know what I'm saying? So that shit I never forgot that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on to it. Fast forward when I moved to Fort Wayne, and one of the dudes comes out to Fort Wayne, and I see him, and like he sees me, and he's smiling and happy, right? I'm like, bro, what's up, man? How you been? Like, that's how he approaches me. And like, it was a weird embracement. It was hard to even reciprocate that energy with him.
Right.
Because I was still holding on to it.
Exactly.
I was still holding on to that shit.
Right.
And this, now we're, like I said, I'm probably like 10, 11 years old. And now I'm fucking 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
6, 7 years have passed by, bro. And I can still, I felt that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was strong.
Right.
But then, I could also, it was conflicted with, I could also feel his new energy, like he's past that time in his life.
Right.
He was a kid.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
was a kid when he was doing that. So it's crazy with trauma, man. Like there's a grudge for sure. There's a grudge.
Yeah.
There could be a grudge element in there. I know for sure. Looking back,
Yeah.
that was a grudge. Like I held on to it, and I got over it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But you feel like that though.
Yeah,
it's so strong.
That's that way of viewing it, like that. Like how I said, that was in family, a friendship, or something like that. But like in a relationship too, because I asked that too. Like, why do people carry like previous trauma into a new relationship? And the thing I was trying to get out of people was like, because this is what I believe. This is my own personal opinion. I'm not saying it's the right way or wrong way, but I feel like
Express yourself.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I feel like if you gonna get into a relationship, like a partner relationship, like boy and girl, or girl and girl, boy and boy, whatever it is,
right.
you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
I feel like if you have trauma, then you shouldn't be going into another relationship. I feel like you need to let yourself feel. You know what I'm saying? Because by you carrying that past trauma, you're bringing problems in already that didn't exist in that other person's life, and now you're involving another person in your own traumas. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, someone did say that they just like, they hit it right on the head, bro. They said like, a lot of times the reason why people do it is because they're scared to be alone. They're scared to be alone all the time.
Why they bring their traumas into the relationship?
Because he's like, the reason why they do it is because they don't want to be alone, so they find someone else to be with, and they just carry on that trauma like into the next relationship.
Oh, okay. So then maybe what they're really saying is like, where they should be a healing process.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm like, I feel like we
No,
skipped a step.
No,
Okay.
yeah, because when at the end, that's what he's like a lot of people. He's like 9 out of 10 times, most people skip the healing phase and that self-love phase, and they jump into something they're not ready for. And I was like, bro, you hit it right in the head. That's how I feel. That's what I want to hear people to know that that's what it is, bro. Like you gotta accept whatever happened, because like how we said, trauma like could be a grudge or it could be something you felt, but it's like, if you're not over that trauma, how can you put yourself in another situation? Because then now it becomes a battle between you and your thoughts and yourself. So
only thing I can say like that can counter that kind of would be like, because sometimes you don't know you had that trauma that exists. That's why, because I know
Yeah.
certain things. I know certain things you just don't find it out until it happens.
No, yeah, but
You're like, oh,
at the
shit.
same time, but
And like,
the
and then
moment,
somebody brings it to your face, like,
right? But that's what I was gonna get to. But
Okay.
at the same time, it's already in your thoughts. So if it's already fucking with your thoughts, that's already a traumatic event right there. So like, let's say I get out of a bad relationship,
Mhm.
and let's say the previous relationship she cheated on me or whatever.
yeah.
So now I get into a new relationship, and now I want to be like, oh, okay, I live and I learn. Now it made me wiser because now I know what a cheater does or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
The new girl I'm talking to starts doing shit that the other girl used to do. I mean, she cheating. Now I start questioning her, like, who you texting? Why you going out all the time? You know what I'm saying? That's from my past relationship. She's completely different from the other one. So from there, me questioning and being in my head, that's trauma right there. Because I was traumatized by like my previous relationship. And that's what I'm saying. That's where I was saying like,
I was like, but maybe you don't become aware of it right away. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it because like you might be able to because you got some self awareness to you.
right.
I think some people don't realize that.
No, but that's why me and him, like when we continue the conversation,
Oh, okay.
he was all like, he's like, yeah, that's what a lot of people lack. Like people lack that self observation.
Awareness,
Because
they
they think, oh, I'm already healed because I
Right.
don't feel no type of way for
I
that
don't
person.
right.
And then they jump into something, but it's just
Yeah.
like, he's like, and then what a lot of people, and I agree with him completely, and I was gonna say the same thing. What a lot of people mess up in is they don't talk about their traumas with their partner. Like they think that because I went through it like with my previous ex, she would always be like, you always talk about your exes, like you always bring them up. It's not that I was bringing them up. I was trying to tell her like the shit I done been through to why I am the way I am and how I am the way in my relationship. So she understands where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
But she would take it as you always talk about your ex. Why you comparing? I'm not comparing you to my ex. I'm just telling you like, yo, the thing that traumatized me in my previous relationship was this, and this. And that's all I'm saying. So you can have an understanding why I think the way I think, why I move the way I move, why I am the way I am.
Man, you know, that's right, which is true. But I think it's, man, you know, it's funny because I be thinking that in my head sometimes, like, you know, that can be so confusing. Like, you know, yeah. You know, people, you know, they say never to bring up the past, right?
Right.
But then it is important to bring up what you learned from the past.
Exactly.
So you are bringing up the past, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of are. It's just, I guess it would just really just take the understanding of
That's
the recipient,
yeah.
whoever you're talking to
Yeah.
understand that, like, I'm not bringing this up to compare, contrast.
Right.
And I'm bringing up to show what I've learned.
Exactly.
What I got out that situation.
Or like how we say what triggers you, bro. Like me, like when I get into a relationship.
That's how you learn what triggered you, though.
Exactly. And that's why, as a partner, like whenever I do get into something new, like I always ask females those questions, like, what triggers you? What makes you upset? What made you mad? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you have past trauma, I don't want to add to it. I don't want to remind you of what you went through. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you about your previous relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I could be better than that, or at least not be compared to that. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you said that because you asked that directly. I remember when I was having moments where I was, you know, dating and stuff, and I would avoid asking. I more so would be like, I would pay attention if I said something and I seen them respond a certain way. And I would always pay attention to those moments and like take mental notes and be like, okay, I'm not saying that again, or I'm not gonna do that again. I seen the friction.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You get
like,
to read people.
I can
how
see
they
it.
are, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I was like, ooh, okay. I can see
But
that.
I don't know, like that's why me and him, like the person I was talking to about that, was going back and forth about the conversation, like dialoguing into like what we was talking about. A lot of people lack that, bro. Like, like the whole communicating part. And I feel like,
For sure.
I feel like trauma, like yeah, you live, you learn, you grow, like how we always say. But it's always okay not to go back and dwell on the past, but go back and explain why you are the way you are. Like, how do you expect your new partner or your new friend or someone like how to understand where you're coming from, or to understand how you are the way you are because of this? It's like, shit.
I couldn't agree more for that. Like, I really couldn't. But I don't think you should harbor or hoard your traumas. I don't think that's the. I think that's when it becomes even more harmful to you and whoever's around you, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Because anybody that you meet damn near, bro, ain't even got to be around. You can be a stranger, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you're harboring these traumas and not dealing with them, you know, not choosing to dive in It could be with a family member, you know what I'm saying, or a friend, whatever. Somebody, or finding even a way, different way, always ways, a way to, like to just like dismantle that trauma to where it don't have so much control over you.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what I was gonna remember. I said I was gonna wait till later. So now that you brought it up, that's what I was gonna say. Like that's how I was able to go back into my traumas. It was to be able to go back and understand the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody was involved, understanding who they were at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I talking about the dude, whatever, like who he was at that time, and then who I was at the time, and who I am now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a lot of self-talk and like just breaking it down. Like you know what I'm saying? Why was I emotionally attached to that way? And then like just being honest with myself, telling myself like literally affirmation to myself, like you don't have to be emotionally attached to it no more. Like talking myself out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Like you can let it go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hold on to it no more. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff it don't end because we don't let it end. I feel like that. I feel like a lot of it just don't end because we don't have, like you said, grudging it, bro. You just
exactly.
You're not letting it end, bro. You're not gonna let it end. You're not gonna, detach yourself emotionally. You're not gonna forget it. That's one thing. You're not gonna forget it. If somebody put the gun to your head, or you know what I'm saying, somebody slapped you, or abused you, you don't forget that shit. It's not like I'm asking you to forget nothing. Just understand, seek understanding of that situation that happened, and then like a lot of times, which I do believe a lot of times, it was out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the time those traumas were out of your control in the first place. So if they were, I mean, come on, man. Like, if it's out of your control now, look at where you're at. And then, like, do you have some control now to keep yourself away from those situations? Like I said, maybe it is, like, you know what I'm saying? If a woman, maybe you got raped because you went to a party that had this, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you're not going to parties no more. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you only, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe you don't go out at all no more. Maybe you don't go out past a certain time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't go, what is it called? Maybe you don't go out alone. Make sure you're not alone. All types of different ways to, deal with that. And I don't think nothing's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, because you're trying to protect yourself. That's why I think, for real,
exactly.
I think with traumas, man, I think most of the time people are really, like,
they're
for real, they're building up a wall to, like, bro, that, like, how do people respond to traumas? Like, their current, like, present right now, people's response to trauma is them trying to protect themselves.
No, yeah.
It's an instinct, like, I'm trying to protect me.
No, yeah, and that's why I got a response like that too. Like, well, a lot of people do it because they just, since they happened already, they're just trying to protect themselves from happening again.
Boom, that's it.
I was like, yeah, but
I agree with that.
But at the same time, it's like, is it fair to the other person that did nothing
right.
to you for you to build up that wall on them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the whole situation of like, you live, you learn, you grow, so now you're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt like that again.
Yeah.
Or something. But it's just like, in a relationship wise, it's hard to do when you have a wall, because it's like, main thing in a relationship is communication. And if you have a wall or a barrier where you're not being completely clear about certain shit, it's kind of hard to even work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, trauma, like, either way it goes, like, whether it's family, friends, shit, something that happened when you were young, it could have been like how you said, bro, like, wrong place at the wrong time. I feel like when trauma happens, it's out of your control. It could be a car crash. You could be driving, get hit by a car, and then
which I was
gonna be
scared.
Before. Yeah, you're gonna be scared to drive, bro. It's gonna happen, but.
Oh, okay, you know what? There you go. I love how you name that. I'll name another trauma of mine. I fell asleep behind the wheel one time. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember I was leaving Jeezy crib. Like, and that was back when I was barely sleeping, right? So I had a moment in my life where I couldn't sleep. Like, I would be up for 3 days, 4 days in a row. I just couldn't sleep, right? And I got used to it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll probably take a nap and I'll be back at it again, right? So then I remember one time I was at Jeezy crib. Like I said, I stayed the night. I was at his house, and it was like, I remember 4 o'clock in the morning came around. I knew I had to be right back up at 6 to get to my house to get ready for work at 7.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be at work at 7, so I was like, let me just close my eyes for a little bit. Closed my eyes, woke up at 6, got in my car, Big Betty, got in her to go home to get ready, and I got like so close, like it was only maybe like an 8-minute car ride. I got to like 2 minutes away from the house, so 6 minutes. I remember I was banging Tupac. I felt tired, but I was cool. And I just remember closing my eyes, and then boom, I fell asleep at the wheel. Crashed. Gratefully, it was a 2-way street, and I shifted all the way into the other lane. Gratefully, there was no other cars coming. You know what I'm saying? So, but to say the trauma was like, anytime I feel tired now, because I still drive, so I got my own transportation business. I've had it for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That was before I even had a transportation business. You know what I mean? I was working at a fucking fencing company. You know what I mean? For a fencing company.
Mm-hmm.
So now, since I've been driving, like if I ever get to that moment I feel tired, bro, I don't drive. I won't drive. I can feel like I just remember that moment, bro. Cause it was so crazy, bro. I literally, bro, I was nodding my head to Pac, and I just, bro, it literally felt like I just blinked. Like, you know, anybody, you just blink. Like right now, I'm blinking. That's all it felt like. But I blinked and my eye didn't open back up. It was like, and it just was gone, bro. Next thing I woke up and I'm crashed.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? It fucked me up, bro. So like, you know what I'm saying? I think that like that was a trauma. You know what I'm saying? That was a trauma of mine that was just like, to this day, I handle myself like, if I'm tired, bro, I'm like, I've been able to do tired, but I remember what tired I was that day.
Nah, yeah, exactly.
If I'm like that, I won't even play with it, bro.
Nah, yeah.
You hear me? I won't even play with it. I literally don't even care. I don't give a fuck if that means I'm missing something, I'm late to something. I literally tell myself, I don't care. Because I think about my life at that point now.
Nah, yeah.
Because I'm grateful I didn't lose my life that day because, bro, there was nobody in that opposite lane. If there was,
yeah, it could have been worse.
I don't know, bro. Yeah. I just don't know.
Could have been way worse.
It could have been worse, bro. But it wasn't. So now, for this moving forward, I'm like, I'm not about to play with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a response to trauma, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like when trauma, like, now that we talked about all the ways, I feel like one way you could overcome trauma is just digest it, bro. Like accept it. It happened. It's like how I told one of my boys, I'm not gonna mention his name, but I told one of my boys, because every time I pick him up now and we drive and I'm about to go, he got in a car crash. It wasn't his fault, bro. He was just standing there. The car hit him, bro. He was just standing there, the car hit him. But now every time I'm driving, I pick him up and he's in the front with me and I'm about to go, he always flinches like, wait, stop. Because he's just scared to get hit again. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when trauma happens, like how we said earlier, like you just have to learn to, all right, it happened, it's in the past. Past is the past, but what can you do to make
that
better? You know what I'm saying?
Like,
make it right.
Like I said, if that's what I'm saying. Like if it's a situation like we named some that where maybe I was negligent. Like I said, I was negligent on the sleeping part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means I have actions I can change now. That I can make sure that traumatic don't happen again, right? But then we have some where, like I said, on the bullying or rape, where those ones are more likely out of your control.
Yeah. Right?
And the response to those is just like, I mean, you gotta understand, unfortunate shit does happen.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you're still alive. You know, I mean, obviously, you want to protect yourself by all costs.
Yeah, just narrow it down and just yourself what you could do. It's like me, like, understand where the trauma is even coming from or where it began from, because it's like how I said, like in the Hispanic culture, like we're raised like with discipline, like to hit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna share some of that.
My parents used to hit me like with like anything they would find, like it'd be a coat hanger, it'd be a fucking cable wire, like from cable, it'd be a fucking belt, anything that was closer, a shoe, a sandal, anything that was close by, bro, they hit me with.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But when I grew, I started analyzing like why they hit me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that makes it right to hit someone or anything, but I grew and I understood. I digested it. I was like, they're trying to discipline me.
Right.
They're trying to teach me right from wrong. This is how they're trying to get to me to understand. Because maybe, bro, I was a young kid, bro. Maybe they would try talking to me. I was going into here, out through here. I wasn't really paying fucking attention. I didn't care. And for them to get my attention, like, okay, you're not listening, boom, get hit. So now I digested it. Same with anything, like you're going through trauma, you gotta learn to accept what was and try to counter it by like, what led up to this trauma happening? Like he said, something might be out of your control where you just don't know. Like, just because you got hit while you were driving or something, and it wasn't your fault, you did nothing wrong, don't mean you're gonna stop driving.
I think the best way, if I'm gonna sum up like traumas, like even just the more we just keep talking and thinking, like I've been trying to think of another way to like sum it up. Like I really look at like bad experiences, bro.
Yeah, just a bad experience.
It's like a very bad. It could be very bad. It could be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, whoopings. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Or it could be very, very bad. But they're bad experiences at all.
And there's like how we were saying. We
some
said in the
do,
previous,
some you caused, but some you didn't cause.
But also, like, I'm not belittling any of your traumas because a trauma.
That's
is
why
a
I said
trauma
that. Like, it's
anyway.
bad. Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
it don't
that's why it's just
matter.
bad, bro. Like, I don't want to say one's more. Like,
at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, it's your own opinion. If it affects you in one way, don't belittle someone else's. Like, if he comes opening up to me and be like, "Yo, bro, I was in a relationship and I got fucking beat," I'm not gonna be like, "You got beat by a girl, bro. Like, you a whole man." You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, don't belittle it. Like, that's his trauma. Like, damn, bro. Like, why? Like, why?
And you're gonna come across something that you just might not be able to understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, you might just be able to not, like, bro. I've been came across some people's traumas where I'm just like, damn, that was traumatic to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
and I guess
exactly.
and it's almost because the sense of I'm comparing to what I've been through.
Exactly, that's what it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. We're just you're ready to compare what you've been through, and it's not fair. It really ain't. It ain't fair.
It's not.
It ain't fair because it don't make sense because that obviously means something. Why are they talking about it?
Exactly. That's why.
Why would he bring it up?
Don't belittle
you know
no one's trauma because everyone's trauma is different. What could be big to me might be like, bro, that's not even half of the shit I have been through type shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me less or him more or nothing. Like, nah, it's just everyone's life and path is different, and some people just get lucky to where they never got that trauma. And a small trauma to them might be the biggest shit to them. It might be small to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We all got different paths. You just don't belittle no trauma. Like, trauma to me, it could be like anything y'all might think it is. Like, take that shit serious. You know what I'm saying? And learn to grow from it.
Couldn't agree more. I wanted to share some responses. You want to do that?
Well, I can't, but I already answered. It was just like 3 of mine.
You shared some of you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share some responses.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And then we can just, if we didn't touch on it, we can touch on it. Whatever, right? All right. So let's go. Let's do this shit. Clear out all this shit. There you go. Okay. Okay. So we got. All right. So I had 2 responses to my question on my feed was, does trauma help you or hurt you, and why? Right? That was my question. All right. And I got one response was, it helps men, it hurts women. Both depends on your outlook on life. So I had to ask him what the hell that meant.
Yeah, 'cause I'm
right. That fucked me up, right? You know what I'm saying? And again, we don't name nobody. We don't have to. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do that. So then he explained. I asked him to explain. So he kind of was like, for men, it's like trauma and pain are our life lessons. It builds us up and helps us develop. And then he used basketball as an analogy, right? It's like, like when you lose, you really want to win. Or you're trying to get over that hump of losing. It teaches you all the flaws that you had that you may have overlooked. And then what keeps us from teaches us all the flaws we had that we overlooked and what's keeping us from reaching our goal, which is winning. To take it in a step even further, if you lose because the refs or team cheated per se, you get mad or realize the life lesson was that life isn't fair. So you learn that lesson of it. So he said everything doesn't go your way. Expect the unexpected, and sometimes there's more to overcome than you imagined. Without these lessons or traumas, we would have learned, and we wouldn't learn and be who we need to be as men. Providers, protectors, teachers, patient, etc. Experience is our greatest teacher, and like OG used to say, sometimes the only way to learn is to keep bumping your head. All right. Then he said for women, it's different. I think trauma causes women to be more masculine. Ready? We all have both masculine and feminine qualities, right? But when all you knew was trauma as a female, you tend to stay on the masculine side, like stopping them from playing the role of being, stopping them from, so like they stopped from being like submissive, stop being supportive, they stop being open and honest, and then, that whole warm-hearted figure who nurtures everyone they're supposed to come across. They stop doing that. But, that's what we need. He's saying, like, why would a woman be these things if all she knew was grind, trauma, and doing it on herself, or fighting to survive, or fighting to live? Women need men and men need women. For centuries, men protected women, and women carried out the most important duty, which is nurturing and protecting the kids. That's why I feel that Black community suffers. We have single mothers dealing with trauma, trying to both nurture and protect the youth, because the father is absent for whatever reason. That's a lot to ask from someone who isn't loved or protected themselves. And the trauma this caused does put distance between men and women alike. You know, and I get that. I think I get that. I get it. I guess I get how he's saying, like, I think he's just saying how it's like double stack. It's then they're like two cars stacked against a woman, especially the woman that has to also play a man. I think that's what he's more so saying. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not trying to I know you probably can watch this, like, not trying to misconstrue your understanding. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when I'm really reading your shit, like, because I try not to do too much responding when they tell me their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to dialogue too much.
Yeah,
just
me
like,
too.
I just like, okay, I just look for feedback. I'm gonna use it in the video. You know what I'm saying? And you can watch it, and you know what I'm saying, see it after me. You elaborate on it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I get it. I think it's personally. I think it's both. I think it can hurt, it can help both, and it can hurt both. I mean, it's perspective, and that's why. And I like how he ended that though. Remember, when we go back to what he said originally, he said what he said. He said, the way he ended his statement was, helps men. Both depends on your outlook on life, though. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it does depend on perspectives. You know what I'm saying? But he shared his perspective that he thinks it hurts men. I mean, it helps men, but hurts women. Like I said, I agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I just think it's both.
Yeah, and I just that was like how I was just saying.
But I get that though. I do think it's a little bit harder for a woman that's masked. That has to be. That has to be just that. But there are also men.
Yeah, I get.
Who have to take care of women, have to take care of the kid by themselves, huh?
Yeah.
I think I think, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I know he's talking, man. It's more common that a woman is stuck raising the kids though, man. And in this society, especially the Black culture, it's real. I get what he's saying. And it damn near is two cars stacked against them, where it forces them to be masculine and feminine at the same time. And that's hard, bro. I think that's hard. I think that's, and it damn near is a traumatic lifestyle. Like, it's tough. Like, how do you respond to life? How do you let a man come in your life?
That's what I'm saying. It just is.
How do you accept men in those situations? You know what I mean?
I could go both ways, because it's just like, I understand that every culture is different, like how I was saying.
There you go, which is true.
Blacks,
that's a whole nother aspect for sure.
Asians and all that, we're all minorities. Black, Asians, any type of Hispanic, fucking Europeans, all that. We're all minorities, you know what I'm saying? But it's how we raise and how we decide to handle the situation. It's just like how we were saying, okay, yeah, the Black culture is more raised, because if you look at it, I'm pretty sure, I don't know the numbers or all that, I might be bullshitting or I don't know the exact numbers, but majority of the times, if you go to a Black household, Black community household, anything of that, you go inside, there's really not many father figures. There's not really male figures in the fucking household. You go into the house, and I'll bet you if you see more than 2-3 guys, it's because they're all brothers. There's no motherfucking, there's no dad, there's no male figure.
It's crazy. Sometimes it might even be an uncle. Like, it's just crazy. It's just typically not the dad, bro.
Exactly. It's not usually the dad. And most of the times it's even hard, because in our generation you still see some of it, but even in like the newer generations now, you don't even motherfucking see the grandpa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You don't. In our generation, you still see a little bit of them, because I know I have some friends that I've gone to, and it's like, oh, that's my grandpa, that's my Jeep house and all that. Where they still in it, and it's just a little bit more. But in the newer generations now, it's just like, it's very hard to even see the grandpas in there.
Crazy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get where he's coming from, but it's like how we said, it's just the cards you dealt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the whole male female, it's harder for females, because like how you said, like, you know, in the Black culture, like Black women, they're always stuck to raise the kids, this and this. But at the same time, it takes two. She knows what she was doing. She knows what sex does. Like, there's a chance of you getting pregnant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She put herself in that situation. She wanted to break that cycle. She should have had more standards, just be more like how we said, build that barrier where she's like, nah, I'm not gonna be another statistic.
But I think I can definitely see that. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, especially if you out there fucking unprotected a lot, You know, I think the ones and obviously even the fucking dudes that do that shit too. The dudes that fuck unprotected all the time. I know most people fuck unprotected. That shit kind of sickens me out. You know what I'm saying? That people even like that. Like, yeah. Especially when y'all know y'all not looking to stay with these people and like
Exactly.
that shit's sick, bro. I think a sad effect of that though can be, you know, if maybe it was rape, which sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only other way I can think about it. Think other than that, yeah, y'all just practicing unsafe sex, man. Y'all out there. So there's ways to look at it for sure. Nah, for sure.
There's different perspectives on that.
And I'm not gonna make no. I'm be honest. I'm not gonna make no excuse for a nigga that runs away from his family. No, I'm not. I'm just not. You motherfucker that's out there fucking women and getting them pregnant and dipping. No, I'm just not. I can't respect that. Maybe some you might have lost them to the law. You know what I'm saying? You might have lost them to. Could have been something petty, man. It really could have, bro. There's all types of reasons that they do, but. It's just hard. I do agree. I mean, safe sex should definitely. I think that's something that should be talked about more. That should be practiced more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could prevent a lot. I think it really just could, bro. Like, you can't be like that. You know, and I think women, and then for women, if you had a bad experience with a dude moving forward, I mean, yeah, try to practice more safe sex. Maybe not take shit so fast. You know what I'm saying? And then also, I think another look on it is what we just was talking about. He's not the dude you was with. You know what I'm saying? He's not the past dude. So you can't don't treat him the same. You know what I mean? Don't treat him the same. Change what you could change that could have maybe, cause like I said, you probably made some fuck ups like during that situation. You probably weren't just a man. You know what I'm saying? You could have been doing too much and it could have been a reason. It could have been, or dude might have left you because of another reason. I don't know. Cause you guys know more personal shit than we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I know it's never just one factor. You know, and there's a lot of shit that's deeply rooted into that, but so that was a good take.
Yeah.
The next one was like, it can do both. Initially, trauma is pain. When dealt with properly, it can help you gain strength, which is what we've been talking about. You know, right? So I'm not even gonna dive into that one. I had a really interesting one. I thought was just like really, really cool, and be honest with you. So I'll share this one first because it's more similar to the last one I just said, but it said, both depends what you let it do to you. It depends on what you let it do to you, because most times you gotta get hurt first, then to help you. You know what I'm saying? First you gotta get hurt, and then it helps you, right? And here we go. This one. All right, you ready for this one? I had to reread it a few times, so when I read it to you, try to grasp this one. Okay, so I believe trauma is the middle space of
Yeah, hold it.
I know, it's annoying. Alright. I believe trauma is the middle space of processing the situation. You know what? I just realized something. It's on mine. Yeah. Alright, cool. So I believe trauma is the middle space of processing the situations from before it happened and how to develop past it with wisdom. Did you catch that? Or reread it? That part. I'm not even done. Get that part?
So,
okay.
Let me read it, see if I
All right, we gotta break this one down. Okay, so it's a guy. He said, I believe trauma is the middle space of processing situations from before it happened and how to develop past it with wisdom. I feel like I feel like we're in a world where trauma isn't a norm. These things would willingly be forgotten about in any orderly or moral surroundings, because there would be support to recognize these moments are normal or should be something to dwell on. Because there would be support to recognize these moments aren't normal or should be something to dwell on. With that being said, trauma is only a phase of hurt. I believe making a decision before it gets to the phase of hurt is suffering for sacrifice of God. Oh, it's suffering for sacrifice of God. So then you put up religion with it too. Or I ain't gonna say God is everybody's religion, or maybe it's spiritual, right? So, so with that being said, trauma is only a phase of hurt. So he's saying trauma is a phase of hurt. And I believe making a decision before it gets to the phase of hurt. So making a decision before that is suffering for sacrifice. So maybe he's saying, as I'm trying to decode it, I think maybe he's saying like it's suffrage. Trauma is the suffrage, which is a sacrifice for God. Like this is what the sacrifices of God is, what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like your trials and tribulations. You have to go through these. You know what I'm saying? And these are the sacrifices for God, or of God. He said of God. I don't know. You want to read it, see if you maybe got something different from that? That's how I'm looking at it. Phase of hurt, I agree. He said the processing, middle of processing, the middle pace of processing. I wish I heard him say it more than I read it, because I don't feel like it was properly typed out. But you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to.
Well, I would want to question him on like what kind of trauma experiences he's talking about, because it's like
Okay.
I feel like this is more directed to a type of trauma.
Yeah.
Because I feel like trauma in its own, like how we're dissecting it, wouldn't be like how he's saying, because he's saying like I feel like in a world where trauma isn't norm, these things would willingly be forgotten about in an orderly or moral surrounding.
Right.
So I feel like this is like a
I thought that too.
specific
So I was
trauma.
like, it would have been forgotten. He said would have, right?
Yeah.
Or would it?
No, these things would willingly be forgot about in a
Right. So in
orderly or
certain
moral
places, I
surrounding.
wonder if he's saying like in certain places like that wouldn't even be a trauma. Is that what he's saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he's specifying like a specific trauma.
So
where,
you would
like,
want to know more specific.
Yeah, because like to me, like how we're saying like trauma, like we're taking it as of like what we're explaining is like it depends situation where we could say it could be a grudge turn into a trauma, or it's just you just don't really know, because every trauma, like how we said, could have a different impact on someone.
Mm-hmm.
So by him saying that, it's just like not everyone's the same. Like how we were saying, don't belittle any trauma. Like someone's life could be like how we were saying, like even before, like just because in the black community is this way of trauma doesn't mean in the Hispanic it can't be, or black people go through more traumas than Hispanic. It's just there's different. You can't belittle one or the other, or like we go through way more as minorities than white people, but just because they go through something, we can't be like, oh no, that shit don't matter, because you don't even know half the shit we go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to know what type of trauma like he's specifically targeting, because I feel like this is just a targeted like trauma. Because then he says, with that being said, trauma is only a phase of hurt.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So they concluded it saying that. That's what I'm saying. That was the conclusion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
no matter what, so at the end of the day, what I'm trying to
say
is trauma is a phase of hurt.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's targeting one certain situation or scenario. Because it's like we talked about traumas where it's just like verbal. Like
I do think that what you're saying is he had a vision of what trauma particularly it was for him.
Yeah, he probably.
But he was using the word trauma as that image without describing the image.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was just using the word trauma, but wasn't specifying where he was coming about.
Yeah, because he said he dove in it, but it was just like, but what particular type of trauma is he talking about? You know, that he had that much of a take on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because not every trauma is hurt. Every trauma is just like it's just traumatized. It doesn't mean you're hurt though.
Right.
Because like how we say it could become a grudge. It's just you just held on to a grudge, or it's not even hurting.
Well, we said bad experience, right? We wrapped it up.
Well, yeah, bad experience. But like it's like how you were saying, like you got bullied.
It was hurt to me. I think most of the time it's hurt. I'm trying to think if when it's can you give me one where it's not hurt? Let's go with that real quick. Let's try that. Let's try a trauma where it's not hurt, where it's not pain.
Like how I said the car crash. I mean, you crashed, but I don't think you like was hurt. Like oh shit, like.
Right. I don't know if I call that hurt either. It was pain though.
Yeah, it was pain, but
I think, but even then, I don't think, no, because I wasn't hurt. I actually didn't get hurt. To be honest, I didn't get hurt from the car accident, so I don't think.
It fuck with your head, which is.
I think it was a psychological.
Yeah.
It became a psycho. So okay, so there you go. So some can be psychological, but it's like it had a psychological effect on me. It bothered me.
Yeah.
I want to say hurt. I just want to say hurt. Not what I'm used to being hurt.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like hurt to me is like.
It was psychological. I would say damage though. So damage and hurt don't have to be the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say it's damage.
Yeah.
For sure. I would say it's a damage.
Without a doubt, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like when he was saying hurt, like not all traumas, like in a way, obviously psychologically, mentally, all that, it fucks with you. So that's why it is traumatic to you. But hurt wouldn't be the right word because it's just like it just wouldn't be the right word to me. At least in my vocabulary, hurt wouldn't be the right word for like trauma.
Yeah.
That's
It can be though.
It can be
like that. That's what you're saying. Like you just want to wrap it up with that one word.
Yeah, I wouldn't wrap it up because.
Or even pain.
Yeah.
It can be pain, but it's not only pain.
Exactly.
It can you're damaged. I do think damage is for sure. I think it's some sort of damage. Some damage has been done where you can't function normally. Well, what would be considered normally.
Right.
In situations due to this trauma. So you've been damaged.
Right.
Due to that traumatic effect. Does that make sense? So I feel like I can correlate damage with it at any moment. Like I said, that car accident, I was damaged in a way.
Right.
Because I just, now I'm like, if I'm in a situation where I'm with the car, I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Or like when I had a gun held in my head, I'm like, I want to say I was hurt because I didn't have to get shot or nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get, but I felt like I was like, but I learned my lesson because I was doing something wrong anyway. I was trying to steal. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it, like I said, it helped me become So yeah, great take though.
No, great take.
I think I would just I think that's something we have to elaborate over. I wish maybe we talked about it more. I probably should.
Maybe it was a certain.
I should have probably asked that.
Yeah, maybe it was just a certain trauma that maybe you might know, and that's why your take is like that. But I wouldn't know I don't know the full background, so I can't really dive into like the full take.
I agree. Yeah, that one. But good take though, man. I just, you know what I'm saying. I do think it can be a phase of hurt. So that's the thing, man. That's the cool thing about when y'all give us takes, man. There's no such thing as being wrong. We try to even understand them sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do better. My lesson learned on this one is I'm gonna try to, you know what I'm saying. I was trying not to elaborate because I was trying not to dive too deep. You know what I'm saying? But I should have asked him to even elaborate more. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't understand something, I should ask him for a better breakdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like at the end of the day with trauma, if you're going through trauma or you have trauma, talk it out, communicate that shit, accept it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Acceptance.
Accept it.
Try to become aware of it. If you continue to hear one or even more than one, especially more than one, you hear a few people tell you about the same thing, that you do this or that you respond like this in these situations, that's a sense of now you can become aware of it. If you're not, these are for those that may not be aware of all their traumas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You notice a mood swing or a mood change. You know what I'm saying? Like you was happy and then something happened, you see something, and then boom, now you're like sad or mad or whatever.
Try to see what triggers you.
What triggers you? Yeah. Typically your trigger probably comes from it's some sort of traumatic experience. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, I think so. And then to move forward with it, what we were saying was just like, is it still green?
No.
Huh?
No.
It ain't green?
Mm-mm.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, so and then to move forward with it, I was gonna say, my fault. I was gonna say, to deal with the trauma even more, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, to get out of it, just like he was just saying. I think he was saying, accept it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Try to see what you can learn out the situation. If it was something you could control, you know what I'm saying, then fix it. You know what I'm saying. Like we was talking about, like whether it be, maybe unsafe sex. You know what I'm saying. I mean, unprotected sex, being in the wrong places, or like type of people you're hanging around, or you did something, your damn self. You just did something that you weren't supposed to, and then now the response to your actions became traumatic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you always yelling at somebody, boom, boom, you was yelling forever, and then finally somebody slapped you in your face or like beat your ass, and like now you like, yeah, bro, you shouldn't be probably cussing motherfuckers out all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
watch your fucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, oh yeah, it died. So yeah, just one of your shit. Oh, you're good. Okay, good. All right, cool. So yeah, so just do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Dive into your shit, and if it's that was the other one, the situation, the trauma that was out of your control.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that's like, I mean, do your best to let go of it and try to move forward. I mean, obviously continue to protect yourself, but like, if it just was unfortunate, bro.
Wrong place,
Wrong time, wrong people. I mean, forgive yourself, forgive the situation, and try to not let that hinder you from, succeeding and meeting new people, exploring new places, and environments, and then shit like that.
Nah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just at the end of the day, just like in a relationship where friendship or family or anything like that, if you're gonna get past the trauma, you gotta like accept it and genuinely forgive that person. Cause if you say you forgive someone, but like how we say you hold on to that grudge, you're not really forgiving the person, and it fucks with your mental.
Yeah.
So just fully forgive, accept, and move on, but move on aware of how to avoid that situation or how to go around it now.
And I think I'm gonna speak for myself too with this situation. Like, if it's somebody that you've had traumatic experiences with over and over again, I think you obviously don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
You can move accordingly. You can move on from that person. You know what I'm saying? If it's somebody you continue to have, it's repeated trauma, like, repeated bad experiences, experiences that continue to damage you. You can keep, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. You can keep it moving, and I know it might be hard, and that's another thing, man. It's hard. This shit we saying ain't like it's gonna be easy.
Oh yeah, no, it's not.
It's not gonna be easy. Traumatic. It's traumatic. Traumatic is definitely a good word. If it's traumatic, typically it's not easy to deal with. It's not. It takes time, man. It takes patience, but you do have to put in the work. Like, to actually, you gotta want to change that shit, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we covered what we could have.
Yeah.
Real shit.
I think we exhausted the brain.
Real
Put the brain in that shit. So, hey, man. Hey, if you like this shit, like it. If you got a moment, comment, give us some feedback. You got some shit you want us to talk about, go ahead and, let us know that too, man. We will talk about damn near anything.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
see why we want it. If you care, somebody or somebody you care about might benefit from this content, share it with them. You know what I'm saying? And if you're down for the ride, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
It's that simple, bro. Hey, yo, this Ways, man.
Yes, sir. It's your boy G Butters.
Express yourself. I love you,
my boy.
All right.